Bella had always felt different from the other girls in her small town. While others spent their evenings at the local cafe or wandering the quiet streets, Bella found comfort in the corners of the old town library. The library itself was a relic, its stone walls covered in vines, its high windows letting in slivers of moonlight long after closing time. One Friday evening, Bella snuck past the creaky front desk, clutching her flashlight and her favorite notebook. She often stayed after hours, searching for forgotten stories among the dusty shelves. But that night felt different. The air was thick, and Bella sensed she was not alone. As she explored the farthest corner of the library, her flashlight flickered and landed on a tall, ancient-looking bookshelf. There, she noticed a narrow gap she had somehow never seen before, as if the wall itself had shifted. Unable to resist, she squeezed through the gap and found herself in a small, candlelit room that must have been hidden for years. On a table in the center of the room lay an old book bound in deep blue velvet. Its cover was marked with a symbol she had never seen, a silver eye surrounded by swirling waves. When Bella touched the book, she felt a shock run up her arm. At that moment, a shadow moved silently behind her. "Who's there?" she whispered, her heart pounding. The only reply was a strange, melodic whisper that seemed to echo inside her mind. "You found the key, but are you ready for the mystery?" Bella stood frozen, gripping the book tightly. She didn't know it yet, but this night would change her life forever. Bella's hand trembled as she held the ancient book, its velvet cover soft and eerily warm beneath her fingers. The strange symbol, an eye wrapped in swirling waves, seemed almost alive, glinting in the candlelight of the secret room. The whisper she'd heard still echoed in her mind, hauntingly familiar and yet impossible to place. Trying to steady her breath, Bella glanced around. The small room was lined with crumbling books and faded maps. Dust danced in the golden glow from the candles. But there was no sign of the shadow she'd sensed moments earlier. For a moment, Bella wondered if she'd imagined it all, until she noticed something carved into the wooden table beneath the book. "Trust the key, but beware the night." With her heart racing, Bella carefully opened the velvet book. The first page contained no words, only a beautifully detailed drawing of her own town. Except at the center, where the library should have been, there stood a towering, dark structure she had never seen before. Her fingers traced the lines, and suddenly the page shifted, words appearing in deep midnight blue. "Dear Seeker, if you're reading this, your curiosity has unlocked our secrets. But every answer brings a shadow, and every secret a cost. Do not trust what you see in the dark." Flowers of fear bloomed in Bella's chest, but curiosity pulled her deeper. She turned the page, where she found a coded message and a strange poem hinting at something hidden under the library itself. She copied the message into her notebook, determined to solve it. Just as she finished, the candle in the farthest corner flickered violently, casting wild shapes on the walls. From the shadows, a voice, clearer this time, though still soft as a sigh, called her by name. "Bella." She spun around, clutching the ancient book to her chest. A misty figure materialized before her, shaped like a young woman with long hair and frightened eyes. Bella stared, unable to move or speak. The ghostly girl reached out a pale hand, gesturing to the velvet book. "You must listen. The door you have opened cannot be closed. There are others searching for what you now hold. Do not trust the librarian. And remember, the eye watches." Before Bella could utter a single word, the candles blew out and Bella was plunged into total darkness. The room seemed to shrink, the walls pressing in with the weight of secrets. She stumbled backward, tripped and fell, landing not on the wooden floor of the hidden room, but on cold, damp stone. Disoriented, Bella scrambled to her feet and found herself in a narrow underground tunnel lit by a blue, unnatural glow. The velvet book was still in her arms, humming gently as if it had a heartbeat of its own. Above her, footsteps echoed. Someone was searching the library. And now Bella realized, she wasn't just reading a mystery. She was part of it. Bella's heart pounded in her chest as she tried to make sense of what had happened. The cold stone floor beneath her feet was real, and so was the velvet book pressed tightly to her side. The tunnel stretched before her, narrow and damp, lit by that mysterious blue glow woven through ancient lanterns fixed along the walls. Water dripped from above, echoing with every drop. The air smelled of earth and secrets. Bella realized quickly that there was no turning back. the passage behind her had vanished. The only way was forward. She moved cautiously, running her fingers along the rough wall for reassurance. The velvet book began to hum again and vibrate ever so slightly when she reached a fork in the tunnel. On the left was a path lined with broken stones, leading deeper into shadow. On the right, the stones were smooth, and something faintly glimmered in the distance, like a trail of silver dust suspended in the air. Bella hesitated, remembering the poem in the book and the warning about trusting what she saw in darkness. Taking a deep breath, she chose the right-hand path and carefully stepped towards the shimmering light. As she advanced, she noticed ancient writing carved into the walls in a language she almost, but not quite, recognized. Some words glimmered with the same blue light. The trail of dust led her to a heavy wooden door covered in the iron waves symbol matching the book. There was no handle, but as Bella pressed the velvet book gently against the door, there was a rumble and the door slowly creaked open. Beyond, she discovered an expansive underground chamber filled with relics, paintings whose subjects seemed to shift when she looked away, glass bottles containing swirling clouds, a clock with 3 spinning hands but no numbers, and in the center, a pedestal that seemed to float just above the ground. On the pedestal lay a sealed letter. As Bella approached, she heard quiet voices, like echoes bouncing between the walls, getting louder as she got closer. With a trembling hand, she took the letter and broke the wax seal. The parchment inside was addressed to the chosen keeper. The letter read, "Deceptions hide in every shadow. The book is your guide, your shield, and your test. If you wish to escape, find the song of the nightbird. Beware the ones who walk without a shadow." Suddenly, the voices turned into urgent whispers warning her, "Someone is coming. You must hide." Bella spun around just as a figure entered from another tunnel, their face shrouded beneath a wide-brimmed hat, eyes shining with unnatural light. They moved without a sound, and chillingly, Bella realized the strange warning from the letter was true. The stranger's feet cast no shadow behind the soft blue lanterns. She held her breath, squeezing herself behind a tapestry and clinging to the velvet book. The stranger paused at the pedestal, stroking the space where the letter had lain as if searching for something they'd just missed. Their voice was soft, but sent ice through Bella's veins. "I know you're here, Keeper," the figure murmured. "You cannot hide forever. The labyrinth obeys those who know its true name." Bella's pulse thundered in her ears. She had to escape, but how? The only clue she had was the message about the nightbird's song and the cryptic guidance of her velvet book. Gritting her teeth, she edged quietly through another, smaller door behind the tapestry, hoping it would not betray her with a groan. The labyrinth's corridors twisted around her, the air growing colder, the magic of the velvet book glowing more urgently with every step. Whatever waited deeper underground, Bella sensed, she was now truly on her own. Bella crept through the smaller doorway, careful not to make a sound. Her mind whirled with the night's events, the secret room, the ghostly girl, the shadowless stranger, and the impossible maze beneath the library. All she could trust was the pulse of the velvet book and the message about the nightbird's song echoing in her mind. The passages beyond grew narrower, their walls lined with strange paintings of birds, some soaring in sunlight, others lost in swirling storms. Occasionally, Bella glimpsed a golden feather painted into the corner of a mural, each feather pointing subtly in one direction. Trusting her intuition, she began to follow the feathers. As she walked, she heard it, a faint, enchanting melody that seemed to rise up from the stone itself. The song was haunting, beautiful, and familiar, as if it had always lived in her memory without her really knowing it. She followed the sound, her footsteps quickening with hope. But the labyrinth tried to confuse her. Corridors looped upon themselves, doors appeared where none had been a moment before. The humming of the velvet book turned frantic whenever she took a wrong turn, guiding her back to the path of the golden feathers. At times, chilling laughter echoed from behind, and Bella caught glimpses of shadows at intersecting tunnels, flickering shapes with no form or face. Finally, the song crescendoed. Bella turned a final corner and entered a cavernous chamber flooded with silver-blue light. In its center, poised on a marble stand, was a perfectly sculpted nightbird, crafted from obsidian and gold. Its wings were outstretched as if in flight, and from its beak, the enchanting melody filled the air. Around the bird, the walls were carved with symbols, eyes, waves, and pairs of hands reaching toward the sky. As Bella approached, the velvet book glowed so brightly it felt hot in her hands. She placed the book gently at the feet of the nightbird sculpture. Instantly, the bird's wings stirred, feathers rustling with ancient magic. The chamber transformed, walls rippled like water, and the floor beneath her glowed, revealing a giant map of the town above. Bella saw moving points of light, some flickering like candles, others pulsing like thunderclouds. Her own location glowed as a steady star near the old library. Suddenly, a voice, soft, musical, filled the chamber. It was the same ghostly girl from the hidden room, her form woven now from song and shadows. Bella, your curiosity has brought you where few dare to tread. The velvet book chose you, but your journey is only beginning. Protect what you have found. The eye is searching, and the stranger hunts for the keeper. But no, you are not alone. The walls shuddered. Bella saw the shadowless figure from the labyrinth standing outside the chamber, pounding the door with invisible force. The melody quickened, urgent. The bird's golden eyes met Bella's. In this world beneath the world, the musical voice whispered, truth hides in riddles. Who do you trust, and what will you sacrifice to protect the secret? A doorway opened in the far side of the chamber, leading upward, a spiral stairway aglow with dawn-like light. The song lured Bella forward, promising hope and yet, danger lurking above. She took the velvet book in her hands, whispered her thanks to the nightbird, and stepped onto the first stair, not looking back as the door behind her groaned shut, sealing away the rolling darkness and the shadowless hunter. As Bella climbed, she felt the weight of destiny settle on her shoulders. The secret was growing, the mystery deepening, and she was at the heart of it. Bella climbed the spiraling steps, each one echoing with the nightbird's fading song. The stairway seemed endless, but she pressed on, feeling the velvet book pulse with anticipation. Something was changing. The golden light that lit her path was growing brighter, chasing away the blue shadows that had haunted the labyrinth below. Finally, she emerged into a circular room. It was far above the roots of the library, perhaps even within its long-forgotten tower. Heavy curtains blocked most of the light, but at the center stood a tall mirror rimmed with silver and carved with the same iron wave symbols. The ghostly girl stood beside the mirror, her reflection brighter and steadier now, as if some of her spirit had returned. You are brave, Bella, the girl said softly. The book chose you, as it once chose me. But every keeper must decide, what will you do with its power? Bella suddenly saw flashes in the mirror, secrets whispered through generations, powerful people seeking the mysterious book for their own gain, and the shadowless stranger hunting those who dared to unlock the labyrinth's mysteries. The mirror showed her own face, eyes wide but clear, holding both fear and courage. The girl explained, the book is not only a key to hidden knowledge, but a force that can protect or destroy. Its magic cannot fall into the wrong hands. That is why the labyrinth exists, to test those who seek more than they should. As she spoke, the air behind Bella grew cold. The shadowless stranger appeared, gliding silently across the stone floor. Now Bella could see the truth. The stranger's form blurred and flickered like a torn memory, desperate to break free from time's grip. The stranger's voice thundered. Give me the book, keeper. The secrets within are not for a child to guard. Bella felt the weight of the book, knowing the stranger was strong, but also hollow. The ghostly girl stepped closer, her voice a shield. You must choose, Bella. Hide the book again, deep within the labyrinth, or trust yourself, and open it one last time, accepting whatever may come. The room quaked. Dust fell from the ceiling as the stranger attacked, reaching with hands of black fog. Bella squeezed the book, hearing the faint nightbird melody deep inside her heart. Closing her eyes, she remembered everything, the hidden messages, the paintings, the warnings, the kindness of the ghost, and her own courage. With all her strength, Bella opened the book. Its blue velvet shimmered, and silver light poured out, filling the chamber. The magic surged, creating a barrier between her and the stranger. The mirror blazed with images of hope, friendship, and sacrifice. The ghostly girl smiled, her form finally whole. The stranger howled and faded, vanquished by Bella's choice and the book's own will. The silver light faded, and the chamber grew still. Now the ghostly girl stood beside Bella, no longer a shadow, but as real as any friend. You have passed the test, she whispered. You are the keeper. But remember, mysteries never truly end. They simply wait to be discovered again. As morning sun broke through the curtains, Bella found herself back in the library, the velvet book safe in her arms. The town outside was unchanged, but Bella had changed forever. And sometimes, late at night, when shadows grew long and the library echoed with secrets, Bella would hear a familiar song, a nightbird's melody, reminding her that magic, mystery, and adventure were always closer than they seemed.